back with our second episode. We are the Off-Topic Brothers.
My name's Juan.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I jumped in.
That's Juan, myself. You're going to say my name, Dickson. Okay? Today, the question we're going to go with for our second episode is, what makes you macho? Manly. And honestly, I think that was a really good opening compared to last week,
See, the thing is that this is now on. It's on. I'm competing. I'm going to win next week. Just you guys wait. I will do this. And he'll be down on the ground because I'm the best.
Oh, wow.
Vote for me.
Okay.
Shout out the name Juan. All right, number 1, Juan.
All right,
That's it.
Let's start off the conversation.
All right, fine.
Go ahead.
All right. So the idea of being manly can range from a lot of things.
Okay.
It changes based off of nationalities, the culture, a lot of that stuff.
True.
But honestly, like the way I was raised, being manly is usually something like being tough emotionally more than physically. It's to be responsible, be capable, being a man of your word is the idea.
All right, my off of yours, I'm gonna get on a different topic later. But for your response, yeah, I completely understand what you mean, because when I was a child, I would my dad would hit me with like a pencil and I would start crying. So like pretty much crying, and they would just call you a girl if you cry for anything, because and obviously when you're little and you're getting hit, it's it's a little emotional. Like am I not supposed to get hit and be like, hit me harder, father? That wasn't anything. That was nothing. So in my culture, it was, you got to be a hard worker, you got to be strong, you got to work hard, and you got to provide. That was like the structure, you know? And what America believes is that it's not that you got to be hard working and all that. That's not really. It's pretty much you got to be a provider, and you got to be strong. You know? In my opinion, my whole life, I don't know if you guys noticed, like I've been skinny my whole life. No matter what I do, work out or eat a lot. I feel that, a woman or people around me view me as like fragile or like weak because, I'm not strong. Even though, I do have strength,
What happened to the picture you said where you had like abs?
See, I may have abs, like my hardcore abs are nice, but is that because I was skinny? People are like, oh, your abs are only nice because you're skinny. Like, I would never get credit for anything. And see, I know this may be a little off topic, wink, wink. See, you're fat.
Oof.
I know. I don't know.
I get it. You guys see this? This is mad.
But being skinny and being fat are almost the same thing. It's very similar, But the difference is, if we're gonna, so let's make it connected, is that because you have more weight, they'll be like, oh, you're strong. You have the ability to do stuff, lift stuff. You are a man. But I'm skinny. And I don't have the strength.
Yeah.
Which is such an odd thing to think about.
Yeah. But
to end my point, to allow you to speak, if we were like in a public place and I say, hey, you're so freaking fat, people are like, wow, you're really rude. It's just like that. You don't know what's going through. You might have diabetes. But they go, hey man, you're so skinny, bro. I can see your skeleton, your ribs, a little chuckle from the surrounding people. And I don't know. That's how I feel. It's random, but it's. Let's go back to you.
No, I get that. Is that ever since I was younger, since I've always been kind of a bigger guy, like both height-wise and weight-wise, people always try to, like when I was little, people tried to fight me because they thought that because I was like that I was a fighter and that they should prove how manly they were, even though we were boys, to try and beat me up. And I'm like, I whooped some ass when I was little. But, we were kids. It was kind of play fighting. All you had to do was make somebody bleed a little bit. And then, all right. I shouldn't support that. But what I mean is that, usually even I was under that assumption when I was little, was that, if you see a smaller guy who's not big in any way, that, he was weak, he wasn't strong, he wasn't what people looked at as being a strong person, right? And so I went under that mentality when I was younger. It's like I began to see myself as a tougher man just because I was a bigger guy and people wanted to fight me for that. So I took that as being that, they see me as strong. So yeah, I get that. And as for the public thing, you're actually right. I don't understand the right origins behind that, because there are people who are skinny not because they want to be, but because there are some people who have diseases that make them be skinny. So it's just like a weird thing where it's only in one direction that people consider it insulting, but it can be just as bad in the other way. For example, if I'm as a big guy, if I see a really skinny person, I'm like, you're a twig, you're so small. It's like that also makes me a bad guy. Yeah. But if it's like, if you start it and then I respond, it doesn't seem as bad, right? Mm-hmm. But in the opposite, it also comes out that way. Except not so much. If I called you a twig and then you call me fat, people would still be more mad at you. Yeah. So it's just a really strange thing. Now, back to the whole thing of being manly, and connected to the last episode we did, was being manly. In a lot of cultures, it doesn't cover raising your kids, because that's the new thing of how things are being in the world, especially in the U.S., is that women are now being the ones who work and the men stay at home. And culturally, there's not actually a lot of examples of the man being the caretaker of the family. So that's actually something I was wondering about. How do you feel about the man being manly for taking care of his kids?
In my opinion, I don't think there's no issue with it. I can understand how a other person, male that's working, it's like, oh wow, he's just taking care of his children. That's a women's job. Some people have that mentality. In my opinion, I just it's not such a big concern that a guy can take care of children. It's your children. Do your part. If you're not able to work, or your wife is doing the job and providing money for the family, but beyond that, what all of this is the idea that a man has to be strong. This is just like magazines for a woman, like Victoria's Secret or anything like that. They see these magazines, they're slim or they have curves and full lips and luscious hair, and that's like, oh, that's what a woman should be. Yeah. You look on, you read magazines of sports about guys, or you just read anything. All these actors, they're all. Majority of them are like strong, buff, and have muscles, and most of that's like a guy sees that. Girls see that girls like those kind of guys. You're like, okay, if I want to have a wife or a girlfriend, or just to compete to get girls, I have to be what the magazine shows me. So both males and females are falling in the same trap of magazines. We see it and we want to be that because we think the opposite sex wants that. Yeah. And don't get me wrong, there's nothing wrong with working out, but I don't think you should be required to be like buff just to be viewed as a man. Yeah. I think your principles, your how you work, and just that should be it. It shouldn't be that guy got a 6-pack. That's a man right there. You see those forms? Pythons and all that. That tends
to be how it is, especially amongst guys. That's the kind of thing you say to each other all the time. It's like a big thing to pick on each other for is it's like, you work out, bro.
Gym, bro.
Like especially in the media and even on social media is people like, especially men, have that thing where they're like, you gotta work out, you gotta be more manly. So that's the kind of thing. It's like people consider that to be what a man is, no longer about being responsible or being a good person. It's just you gotta be strong, you gotta look strong. And you gotta seem strong, both emotionally and physically, and that's how you define a man. And nothing about who he is, what he does, what he believes in, none of that matters anymore, apparently.
True. Because we have, we stated our statements. What is the way we can conclude, and what's like, how can we solve this? A very simple way. Give me a couple of sentences where you think we can solve this idea that you have to be strong to be a man.
Well, honestly, there's no real way to change the current generation. But what a good thing would be to always teach your kids that that the best, like, especially, what I mean is that you should teach your son that they don't have to be physically imposing and they don't have to be big, strong-looking men. That to be a good man, rather than just a man, is you gotta have the right qualities as a person. You have to take care of your family. You have to you have to be a good person rather than just a person.
Okay, I get what you're saying. I completely agree that honestly there's nothing more to that. Raise your children in a way that, you know, this is what it takes to be a man. You know, work hard, try to do your best, your principle.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, that's pretty much, you know, that's the only way you can change generations. It doesn't, you know, maybe only in your family, maybe not around the world. And honestly, you know, this was a good episode. You know, obviously there's way more we can go on in detail, and personally.
All right, guys, we're just gonna wrap it up here because he was losing his train of thought. See, my episode's gonna be better. Just you wait. See you guys next time.
You got me.
All right, time to say goodbye.
See you later, alligator.
Welcome, guys. This is a new show we're starting called what was it called again?
TopiK Brothers.
The TopiK Brothers. All right, so this show's gonna be about us. We're gonna be discussing a lot of different things. It can be going anywhere from gender roles and people's sexualities to nationalities, and the way that those perspectives add on to the differences between us, and really how they can expand our world. Yeah. All right, so this first episode is going to be covering gender roles.